Let's take a look at topic 4.1. We're going to graph transformations of the reciprocal function. And your parent function is f of x equals 1 over x. And here's just a rough sketch. Notice you've got your horizontal asymptote at y equals 0, vertical asymptote at x equals 0. I've got my graph coming down here in the lower left portion and up here in the upper right portion. So your transformations, this should all look very familiar to you. It's still going to apply the same way that it does for quadratics, cubics, quartics, quintics, etc. So your h value, well, that's your horizontal shift. Everything is either being moved left or right. If you have a minus h, that means your h value is positive, so positive values move right. And again, think about this. If you plug in a positive number for h, minus sign stays. So if it is x minus h, you're going right h units. If it's positive, well, now imagine if you're moving left is negative. So if you had a negative value for h, you'd have a negative, which would make it positive. And so what you'll find here, which is actually kind of neat, when you're graphing these reciprocal functions and their transformations, to do a horizontal shift, you're just dragging the vertical asymptote. So we started out where my vertical asymptote was at 0. And so you're just moving it. So if this would be a minus 5, well, your h value is a positive. Then that also means your vertical asymptote would be at positive 5. You'd be moving the entire vertical asymptote over 5, and the graph is just going to kind of still hug to it and move with it. Your k value, that's your vertical shift. That's up, down. So if it's going up or a positive, you're going up. If it's negative, you're going down. And again, you move your horizontal asymptote. So your horizontal asymptote is already at y equals 0. So if you see plus 5 here, well, you're just moving your horizontal asymptote up 5 units. And the rest of the graph is just going to come right along with it. Now, if you have an a, your a value here, which you shouldn't really see any fractions or decimals, at least not in this stage of the game, would be a vertical stretch. If this is negative, you might see the negative hugged up to the a, or you might have a negative out front. We'll deal with that in another lesson. That's going to be a reflection across the x-axis. Now, remember, think about your transformations as mathematical operations. If you're shifting horizontal or vertical, up, down, left, right, okay, that is all addition, subtraction. When you're doing a stretch or a reflection, that's multiplication. So you got to think PEMDAS. Which do you do first, the multiplication or the addition, subtraction? Well, the answer to that is multiplication. So if you have a negative out front, you would flip it over the x-axis first. Remember, your asymptote is already on the x-axis. You would flip it, then you would do your shifts. So let's take a look at this example. If I have g of x equals 1 over x plus 2, and then minus 4. So right here, there's h. H equals a negative 2, which means I'm shifting left. And it also means I have a vertical asymptote at x equals negative 2. Now here, there's my k value. It's a negative 4, so that's down 4. So I am moving my horizontal asymptote down 4. Well, if I started off at 0, my horizontal asymptote is at y equals negative 4. Let's take a look at what this does. I'm going to pull up Savas. Here is the try it that we're looking at. Okay, so what you're doing is you're just grabbing your vertical asymptote, we said we were shifting left 2, left 2. And now I would have to go down 4. And there it is, and the graph follows. You would still just kind of sketch in. Notice you are in the lower left. You think about these as crosshairs here. You're in the lower left and the upper right.